Hello and welcome everybody back to the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Kebablord here, and we are of course continuing with our AI tournament. We now have Team B versus Team G, Team B being the warrior poets consisting of the Sultan Abdul and Emperor Frederick. Two quite defensive AIs, and we let them fight against the Abbott and the Sheriff, also known as the Swarm. Two enemies who are just trying to swarm the enemy to death. And yeah, let's see if the slingers of Abdul will be enough to hold against the warrior monks of the Abbott, and if Frederick is going to get his defenses up early enough against the huge amount of macemen that the Sheriff is going to throw at his walls. And let's hope that this fight lasts longer than the last one. That was a very surprising outcome with the red actually killing the Vizier. That is just, I've never seen the red being that useful. But okay, so I am going to speed up a little bit. I mean, we very much already know the shape of the castles of the Sultan and Emperor Frederick. I mean, they're both drawing circles in the sand. Not really surprising here. The Abbott, of course, building first the cathedral, otherwise he cannot recruit his main units, the warrior monks, who are very, very, very weak against range attacks, but in melee can actually fight properly against Arabian swordsmen, macemen and pikemen. So we have several AIs with quite a long build-up phase. So for example the Sheriff and Emperor Frederick, they need quite long to build their castles. The Abbott though is a bit faster, as well as the Sultan. That is why I made them face each other. Also I hope that the slingers will buy the Sultan sometime. I don't expect that he's going to survive very long before he's getting overwhelmed. So the Sheriff is already building his defensive box. And then the entire economy, the city around it. Oh yeah, so not much of skirmish happening here in the early game. So let's see where they go, and I hope that the Sultan is not eating away all the, well, all the wood that otherwise Frederick would use. You can see here 6 woodcutters of the Sultan, here another 3, here another 3, so quite a lot. And apparently the Sheriff shot down a woodcutter's hut, or lumberjack hut. Oh, oh, now Emperor Frederick is the most powerful one. Oh no, it's Sultan Abdul again. So according to the current score, one team is mightier than the other one. But again, no real skirmishes happening, just a bit of lumberjack killing. So, and the Sultan has nearly finished his first circle, while the food economy of the Abbott is already up. Next comes the beer economy, as we can see. He already gets all the popularity bonuses from Cathedral and Church. And Abdul is launching the first attack, while the Abbott is also sending the first distraction units. The first raid. But yeah, they both failed miserably. That is also such an evil combination, watchtowers and crossbowmen, so the crossbowmen have a heavily increased range. But those are only 2 crossbowmen, they can't do too much. So, the Abbott is having more and more monks, starting the apocalypse, going for masses of catapults in the long run. The Abbott is actually quite good at distracting the enemy with sending single catapults all the time. There we can already see the next one coming, because the Abbott definitely has the money to go for masses of catapults. Oh, and a little slinger raid of the Sultan. They got killed by the monks. So, and Frederick still did not close his castle. Let's hope that the Sheriff is not going to send in any macemen, but it doesn't look like it. He is still building up his weapon economy. But the Abbott has now closed his castle. Only 1 tower left, and then he can use stone as a trade income. And that is what I meant with the catapults, just for distraction. Yeah, it's not looking that good for Sultan Abdul. Oh, and Emperor Frederick has the most soldiers. And Frederick is launching the first attack before the castle is even finished. Oh yeah, only very few units, not having that much of an effect. But hey, they were able to destroy a catapult that was putting the Sultan under siege. Oh yeah. The sortie monks of the Abbott already took care of Frederick's swordsman. Oh, and we see a little raid done with knights. Catapult being destroyed, and now he's going for farms. Yeah, that is going to hurt. They have no real defenses here. And the sortie units of the Abbott have been killed. Mostly. But Frederick is now getting a little bit too courageous. And now the castle of Frederick is nearly finished. Only one tower left. And the moat is already being dug out. Oh, and the Abbott is going for an attack. But yeah, with that amount of archers, the Sultan should be safe. And the next raid is happening, though Frederick now focused on a watchtower. Wow, so efficient Frederick, much wow. And the sheriff is sending out an AI patrol, a crossbow patrol. In case you didn't know, most of the defensive value of the sheriff actually comes from his defensive patrols. They are mostly larger than the amount of men that he's putting on his walls. So the castle itself is quite weakly defended. And the next raid of Frederick is happening. Yeah, goodbye quarries. But they are taking damage thanks to the 2 ballistae that the Abbott has. So whenever they stop to destroy a building, they are most vulnerable and can be killed. Yeah, the Sultan is not looking good, but this is here quite a strong combination. Having the watchtower and the walls basically tank the area, blocking enemy missile fire, so that these archers can focus on the monks. And the next raid is happening. Seems like Frederick is a bit bored. And the sheriff soon has his economy up. And the next patrol is dying. Let's increase game speed a little bit. And the next raid is happening. But yeah, apparently Frederick has issues choosing efficient targets. But there's now a siege happening. And archers unfortunately are not very strong against swordsmen, so Frederick has a chance to deal at least a bit of damage, but it won't be much. Yeah, because of the monks. And now comes a counter-attack done by the Abbott. Now the question is, will he focus on Abdul or on Frederick? Oh, that's a lot of units. And Abdul is dead. Swarmed to death by the Abbott. So both will now start focusing on Frederick. Most catapults will mostly not reach their target. Frederick is also sending distraction catapults, and we see a little sortie unit patrol by the sheriff, killing some outward catapults and stuff like that. Yeah, Frederick will now have a good time defending himself against 2 opponents. But at least he lived long enough to build up his defenses. But the sheriff is now about to reach his final form. Only 1 church left, then the economy is complete, and there will be a swarming happening. Yeah, the Abbott has of course started to save money. And is sending out the next swarm attack, but they won't come very far. Oh, counter attack by Frederick. Yeah, the Abbott has no chance. But Frederick's units also don't come very far. So let's see how this battle develops. I mean, we are still not yet in the 13th century and the first AI has already died. Yeah, the sheriff is on this map actually a bit weaker because the pitch economy is outside and all the patrols are getting shot down. Which of course need to be replaced with new units. And the next attack of the Abbott is happening by another raid. Happens by Frederick. As we can see, the monks are not coming that far. Oh, but now the sheriff is also coming. With small groups, but his army will scale up in the near future, so it has begun. Fun fact, the sheriff is actually my favorite AI as soon as he has a working castle. And Frederick is now launching his attack. Which is still too small. Even if he breaks through the walls, the swordsman will simply be killed by masses of monks. Yeah, exactly as I thought. And the sheriff launched an attack in the meantime, which also completely failed. So far, it seems like Frederick is dominating the field. So much stronger than with the vanilla castles. So great. And when you increase the recruitment timer via the unofficial Crusader patch, he can actually become a real strong AI. So, next attack of the Abbott. Not getting very far again. Yeah, no chance at all. No matter with how many waves he attacks. If Frederick continues to scale up, he might actually even win this alone. He just needs to, at one point, have enough swordsmen to take out everything that the Abbott has. It can be done via good timing, when he attacks directly after the Abbott has attacked him. Or by simply taking some time and scaling up. Yeah, the Abbott has way too much money. Should Frederick manage to kill him, the next attack will be devastating. And the Abbott is not breaking up his past siege. That's actually helping, because it means he is not recruiting that many melee warriors, giving Frederick a better chance to break through. And the sheriff is still losing too many men at the front. As we can see here, again, another patrol down. So he only very rarely attacks. Meaning he is not scaling up as much as he should, so he cannot really swarm Frederick. Interesting. Oh, and apparently the Abbott has broke up the siege and is now scaling again. Yeah, not that much happening here. Oh, next attack from Frederick. But it will fail again, pretty sure. Oh, counter attack by the Abbott. So Frederick, now is your chance. The Abbott has next to no defensive units. But fire. As you can also see, the Abbott has these little moats in between the walls, forcing Frederick to take the long route. Or the gate, which is defended by fire. A little wall raid is happening. Apparently the Abbott needs this little oasis, because that here in the back is not enough for the two of them. Now come on, dear Abbott. Show us what you can. Scale up to 1,000 men and try to kill Frederick. It still fascinates me how much the sheriff is being crippled by his patrols always being shot down. Because, well, he will try to protect these lumberjack huts. Oh, next attack by the Abbott. As you can see, they are getting quite massive. Hey, at least they are reaching the gate and dealing damage, and also destroying a bit of economy. But in the end, it was a very bad trade-off for the Abbott. But apparently, enough to close the gates for long enough that Frederick is going to get rid of a bit of his economy. Interesting. Might not take him a bit of time to rebuild that. Yeah, as soon as the sheriff builds something like here, fire ballista, it's being shot down by them here. I am afraid that in long term Frederick might lose this. Though I wish he would win. He's fighting so valiantly. And again another little raid dealing a bit of damage towards the Abbott, but the Abbott simply doesn't care. And is still not recruiting, because these here are still trying to protect non-existing siege engines. Now the timer has run off, and he is going to recruit again. Yeah, we see the numbers rise. Fun fact, the Abbott of the modified AIC version that I have created, yes, I am actually working myself into the AIC system and altering the AIs a little bit. The Abbott has become there the second most dangerous AI. Killing nearly everyone. So, let's see, Frederick has now over 350 men. But no matter whom he will be attacking next, yeah, now he is launching the attack and it will be to no avail. They will all die. Because the timing is really, really bad. But hey, there are at least a few siege engines to deal a bit of damage. And all these swordsmen will burn. Okay, front of fire defense has been destroyed. Oh, now the sheriff is attacking. And the counter-attack of the Abbott. This might become really interesting. This might be the kill, depending on the fire. Yeah, that was it. Frederick killed the Abbott. And received 12,500 gold, so it's now up to the sheriff and the emperor to duke it out.
The Empire claims another, so the story unfolds.
That has the potential to be an interesting fight, because Frederick is a bit stronger than the sheriff, but needs quite some time to scale up enough, because the sheriff can be really, really tanky. And due to the amount of defensive patrols, the knights are not getting that far. There's also a fire ballista in the back, so even if the knights get here to destroy the economy, they are being shot by a fire ballista and the tower ballista up here. So they can't deal that much damage as we have just seen in the raid here in the north. So, Frederick is scaling up his units. Since his attacks have already become quite big when fighting the Abbott, this might be a very strong army attacking the sheriff. So Frederick has now 36 years to kill the sheriff, otherwise a community vote will decide which team was stronger. Yeah, Frederick is scaling quicker than the sheriff. Because again, the sheriff loses too many units. Which costs money. I really like the shape of the leftovers of the Abbott. Okay, so Frederick now used all the money already that he got. What a waste. And please don't attack yet, you would lose everything. Let the sheriff do the first step. And since the sheriff hasn't scaled so much, it can already happen that he will attack with a smaller force before Frederick attacks with his big force. On the other side, we are seeing the economy of the sheriff, the weapon economy alone. Oh, Frederick is attacking. That's a huge mistake. That was a mistake. Yeah, they are not coming very far. You can see all the killing pits between the buildings. And the big defensive pitch mode inside the city. And the sheriff will rebuild his economy in an instant. Completely wasted, Frederick. Completely wasted. I'm so disappointed. Interesting. The sheriff is now a bit going for the forest in the back. Ensuring that he doesn't have that many buildings in the front, meaning less units are being shot down. Yeah, there we see more defensive units. The little skirmishes in the middle. Oh, these archers are no match for the sheriff's crossbowmen. So, and Frederick has now started recruiting again. Yeah, that little raid was unsuccessful. Huh. As was the raid of the sheriff. So, Frederick already boasting nearly 300 men again. Yeah, those defensive patrols of a sheriff. Now that they last a few seconds longer, they can actually do something. Like hurt the people here on the towers, or destroy Frederick's defensive patrols. Slowing him down. Yeah. Those were some archers, who are now dead. So during the next attack of Frederick, the sheriff will be even stronger than before. So I don't really see this being over in the next 24 years. Big defensive patrol again. Yep, and Frederick's patrol is dead. But still, Frederick is recruiting faster than the sheriff. That is very surprising, because the sheriff has such a stronger economy and the units are cheaper. So if it continues like that, if we would go far beyond the year 1300, Frederick might actually win this. Simply by outnumbering the sheriff. Once that bit of forest is gone, there will be no reason to build lumberjack huts here, meaning less skirmishes and more frontal assaults. Oh, and Frederick is gathering his troops. Wow, such an achievement, killing that one defensive tower. Yeah, that won't work, Frederick.
A message from the sheriff.
Oh, running out of cash again.
Oh! Okay, with that much pressure... That was a strategic mistake by the sheriff. Because rebuilding that under the constant raids... Not going to happen anytime soon. So it will be quite some work for Frederick to destroy the last bit of defenses. But the sheriff will take so long to rebuild. And once these trebuchets are defeated, Frederick might start recruiting again. And will by then have amassed enough gold to make that go really quick. Oh yeah, that the sheriff lost his granary was actually quite bad for him. As we can see, he has trouble recovering. It might take a little bit. So, Frederick, yeah, he's recruiting again. So the next attack might hit harder. It might already hit like a brick. Ah yeah, all quarries destroyed. The constant raids of Frederick are really not making it easy for the sheriff. So, we might actually go a bit into overtime, because it will be clear that the match is going to be over soon. So it will very likely not be a draw. But let's hope that Frederick can finish this off before the limit is reached. Because I don't want to extend it in the second fight already. And the sheriff's still rebuilding. His economy is slowed down because he has not such a negative fear factor at the moment. Now the beer economy is standing again. Yeah, Frederick now nearly has twice as many troops as the sheriff. The next attack will be deadly. And the sheriff has by now recovered. And is now also recruiting again. It doesn't look like the sheriff is getting a chance to attack Frederick ever again. And he's soon ready for the next attack again. Now the defenses are slowly being manned again. As we can see with that fire thrower. There we can see sortie units to fight the defenses, but they were not able to destroy everything. Meaning they were not enough. And Frederick is attacking again. This has the potential to hurt. Yeah, a raid and the attack at the same time.
A message from the sheriff.
Oh, running out of cash again.
And there he is, destroying his own economy again. But still, no chance. Too many crossbowmen on the keep, so in the end the sheriff got less damage than last time because he has more soldiers. But Frederick is also not using his ranged attackers. Such a shame. So the granary has food again. The raids are not helping. This might actually become a draw. Because the sheriff was tanky enough to survive. Because it will take at least 5 to 6 years until Frederick is attacking again. Yeah, we will give him another shot. We will give him overtime until 13-15. Or well, better until the next attack, and it will very likely not be deadly and it will be a draw. We will see. Because so far also nothing interesting is happening. Unsuccessful raids. No skirmishes in the middle. The sheriff's still losing men because he has farms here that Frederick is not willing to destroy. Yeah, he kills the people, but does not destroy the farms. So, and the sheriff is a little bit recruiting again, but the economy has not yet built up again. Come on, Frederick, hurry up. Oh wait, 1260. Yeah, I was with the 1 hour principle, not 100 principle. So, Frederick has 40 years to kill him. Sorry, that was my bad, my stupid. I mean, it's 6 AM in the morning. I'm allowed to make mistakes. Yeah, I forgot. There's still 40 years of battle. Okay, old man, you still have a few shots available. Make them count. Well, it's interesting to see that the Vestia basically turned to 1v1. And the sheriff now has more men than ever before when Frederick attacked. But also a badly damaged tower. Huh. As long as Frederick is not using his ranged units to reduce the manpower on these towers, and maybe on the keep itself, I don't see a clear victory happening anytime soon. By now. And again, sortie units destroying a defensive patrol of Frederick completely. And the raid, will it be successful? No. It wasn't. Okay, maybe the sheriff will attack soon, opening a window for Frederick. Because with less crossbowmen on the keep, it might turn into something successful. Yeah, Frederick is attacking again. Okay, that will be not very successful. But hey, at least the trebuchets are going to take out one tower. Yeah, with all these crossbowmen up here.
Oh, running out of cash again. Fetch me the tax collector.
No chance. But the sheriff lost again the granary and the tower. But he has so many troops that Frederick now must kill. With only 30 years left. So Frederick might have only 1 or 2 additional shots and then it's over. Hopefully the sheriff will attack until then. Oh, the granary is nearly destroyed again. The next raid? Okay, they ran into assassins. Okay, that... What a shame. But at least now Frederick has some fun raiding again. So Frederick is heavily recruiting again. As I said, it will take an eternity until he attacks again, because the attacks have now become so big yet. And that might be the chance to let the sheriff attack beforehand again. But yeah, rebuilding will still take a bit of time. Frederick actually has quite a good economy, as we can see here, so he's definitely more than a mid-class AI. Fixing that issue with trade and the recruitment speed, like the UCP does, turns him into a top-class, top-tier AI. He can actually fight Richard without huge issues. His defense is strong enough to survive, and his attacks are strong enough to, well, to go through Richard's non-existing defense. And did the sheriff recover already? He is getting close. Missing a church and, well, 2 productions. Now he can start recruiting again. Which is happening right now. But yeah, Frederick is still dominating the field. And he recruits faster than the sheriff. And again in sortie attack. Nice. Sheriff actually uses him quite efficiently. Oh, what's that? The sheriff is getting money. Where's that coming from? Oh, for some reason he has built one more lumberjack than usual or something like that. He's not having free peasants for recruiting. Ah, now he has again. Good. That can sometimes get really irritating. Oh, and the next attack of Frederick is happening. Oh, that is a defensive patrol. Shame he didn't leave them here to shoot at the enemy swordsman. And there we see the swarm of Frederick's swordsmen. But still, it won't be enough. It will again trigger the defensive mechanism, but it will not kill the sheriff. Wow, it did not even trigger the defensive mechanism. That's just how confident the sheriff has become. Now with all these men up the keep. He's going to rebuild that bit. Will then attack. Before Frederick's next attack will lose. And Frederick might barge in. At least that is what I hope. Come on, Frederick. I know I'm not being neutral here. But again, he's fighting so valiantly. He deserves the win. Yeah, the sheriff has now rebuilt. And there you can see whenever a free peasant appears, it is turned into something. Or replaces a citizen that has been killed.
We are under attack.
So many crossbowmen on the field. And, well, the sheriff again is gathering money because he's not receiving new peasants. Because he built too much of something. That happens very rarely, but it happens. Apparently not even enough to man that quarry. And that it usually happens because of too many woodcutters or too many ox tethers. Yeah, here we see the amount of ox tethers. That's just too much. That's eating away the recruits. But as long as Frederick keeps raiding, the sheriff can keep recruiting. But not to the extent that is normal for him. Yeah, too many woodcutters. That might now cripple him. Yeah, 11,000 gold coins, 12,000 now.
We are under attack.
But maybe there's a chance that Frederick triggers something that gets rid of this effect. A shame it ends that way. I'm not going to wait an eternity until the sheriff has now attacked. It will be Frederick's last attack, as it seems. Now come on, Sheriff. Start recruiting again, yeah. But do it quicker. Yeah, no chance. Frederick will attack first. And we'll lose again, and we will have that draw. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Aside from, well, Frederick, good luck. Yeah, as I said, no chance. So, this is now officially a draw. The sheriff was able to be tanky enough. And is now also recruiting again. So yeah, you know what it means that it is a draw. There will be a community vote. I will, in the corresponding Discord channel, ask who has won in your opinion, who has won your heart. Will it be Team B or Team G? Is it the Swarm, or is it, well, the Warrior Poet, or in this case, Frederick or the Sheriff? You can simply react via the emojis below them, and yeah. In case you are not yet on the community Discord, you can simply join by clicking on the invitation link in the video description. There's a little security system in front of that. It's called the Vortex, meaning that most of the server is locked for you. But if you read the rules, you will find the special command that lets you enter the full server, and then you can participate on the vote. You will have around 24 to 48 hours. I think it will be 48 hours to do the vote. And yeah. As always, I hope you enjoyed this fight. If yes, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feedback, or, well, feedback about the castles and so on, then just type it down in the comments. I will make sure to read it. And of course, if you want to get notified when the next episode goes live, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that notifications are activated. And with that, I say goodbye and see you next time. Bye bye.